The footprints wound their way through towering pines and aged trees whose names had been long lost to time. Time, a word that meant next to nothing when you were this deep in the heart of the wild. The larger outline of the prints was the smooth, rounded sole of a leather boot. The second pair were doubled to keep up with the longer stride of her companion. The dainty toes splayed in the mud gave away her bare feet. There had been no time for shoes in her flight. The key had come to her, precious and in need of protection. She had run the moment it settled into the pocket of her shirt. The net waiting for her had been a pleasant and welcome surprise. Their escape to this, of all the forests in the world, made perfect sense. You could almost taste the history in the wet of the rain, or the smell of the earthy mud. It stretched out before the creatures infinitely, as a thick fog began to blanket the wake they were intent on following, blotting out what little moonlight had been falling on their pursuit. It seeped through the space between the black trunks, cloying and damp as it swallowed any indication of the horizon. Paired with the recent rain, the fog weighed down the air, and it settled on their shoulders cold and damp. Or it would have, if such petty things as cold or heat hindered such creatures. "He thinks to defend her," the first spoke, incredulous. "He is young," the elder said dismissively. Ahead of them, she unconsciously reached for his hand, and he took it up with a reassuring squeeze. "Did you?" "Of course." He cut her off, and her eyes darted to meet his. They were black as coal and so sharp, intent on her face. He raised a single finger to his lips with his free hand. She nodded slowly in understanding. He had felt them too.